If you do this, for 7 days, you'll start to feel your mind getting lighter. Less noise, less chaos. If you stay consistent for 14 days, you'll notice you don't react the same way anymore. Calmer, clearer. But if you're truly serious, for 90 days, your life will start to shift in a completely different direction, from how you think to how you choose to how you live each day. And no, this isn't just something that sounds good. This is something so simple that anyone can do it, but also so difficult that very few people stay consistent long enough to see it through. So what if this time, those 90 days don't just pass by for nothing? What if these 90 days actually change you from the inside out? Today, I'm going to show you exactly what happens when you truly stick to the 5 a.m. 20-20-20 routine for a full 90 days. Not just a few motivated days before you quit, but real discipline, long enough for things to start shifting. Not theory, but changes you'll actually feel. More clarity, better focus, and real control over yourself. And there's one thing no one tells you about this. You don't wake up at 5 a.m. to become successful. You're training the way you live, one day at a time. The result don't come the way you expect, not money right away, not explosive success after just a few days. Instead, it's the small changes, so small that you might miss them if you're not paying attention. You start to control your thoughts. You procrastinate less. You get things done, even when you don't feel motivated. And those are the things that are truly dangerous. Because once you've changed from the inside, you can't go back to who you used to be. Week 2, week 3, something unexpected starts to happen. You begin to realize you're actually in control of your day. No longer being pulled around by the usual things, constant notifications, unanswered messages, piling work, or other people's expectations. You wake up, and the first thing you do is no longer grabbing your phone out of habit. Instead, you start your day with intention. That first hour belongs to you. You read, you move, you think more clearly, and before 8 a.m., you've already completed the most important task of your day, while the rest of the world is still rushing to get started. It sounds simple, but if you've never lived like this, it feels completely different. It's like the first time you realize you're no longer being carried by life. You're the one holding the wheel. If you've never experienced this, try it for at least 3 days. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just start. You'll understand very quickly why it changes everything. Around day 30 to 40, something else begins to show up. Clarity, not loud, not sudden, but deep enough for you to realize you're changing. You start to understand what you truly want, what no longer fits, and whether the path you're on is actually right for you. Before, you were always busy, a full schedule, a lot to do, but inside it felt unclear. Now, you're still working, but you understand the reason behind every action. You're no longer chasing everything. You choose. And this is when you begin to cut away what's unnecessary, meaningless conversations, energy-draining habits, and even goals that were never truly yours to begin with. But this is the point where 90% of people stop, not because they're not capable, not because the method doesn't work, but because they fall back into what's familiar. Just one morning of sleeping in, just one, I'll do it tomorrow. And slowly, everything starts to slip without them even realizing it. Old habits don't disappear. They just wait for you to lose focus so they can pull you back. Around day 50 to 60, your energy starts to change, not in a sudden explosive way, not the kind of hype that rises, then crashes, but something more steady. You wake up and do what needs to be done. No waiting for inspiration, no constant self-pushing. You're no longer dependent on motivational videos every morning. You don't need to feel like it. You still do it because it's become your standard. And the strange part is, the things you used to avoid or procrastinate on now feel normal. Staying focused for longer isn't hard anymore. Discipline doesn't feel like a burden. You move through your days more smoothly. If you're still waiting for motivation, that's a sign you need discipline, not emotion. Don't wait any longer. Start tomorrow and stick with it long enough to see the difference. But this is the part that most people underestimate. Skill. 20 minutes a day sounds small, easy to ignore, easy to postpone. But after 90 days, that's over 60 hours. 60 hours of real focus. No distractions, dedicated to one single thing. And that's when everything starts to change. You're no longer a beginner. You're no longer stuck figuring out the basics. You start to understand more deeply, not just knowing, but grasping the core. Move faster, less hesitation, less time fixing mistakes. Make fewer errors, because you've gone through enough repetitions. Things that used to take you hours now take just a few minutes of focused effort. And this is when opportunities begin to show up, not because you're luckier, but because you become someone capable of taking them. And no, that's not luck. That's the result of dozens of hours quietly repeated every single day. But the biggest change isn't in the external results. It's within you. You no longer see yourself as someone who procrastinates. You stop labeling yourself as weak every time you quit halfway. Instead, you become someone who does what they say. No need to talk much. No need to prove anything to anyone. You just do it. And day by day, as you stay disciplined, something starts to form. Self-trust. Not vague confidence, but something built through repeated action. You say it, and you do it. You set a goal, and you move forward step by step. And once you have that, it's almost impossible to go back to who you used to be, because you've seen that a better version of yourself is real. If you want to change your life, don't start with goals. Start with identity. Become the person you need to be, and the results will follow. The person from the previous part, after 90 days, didn't become a millionaire. There was no instant leap, no overnight miracle, but he gained something more important: a solid system of habits, a skill good enough to create value, and confidence built from keeping promises to himself. From there, he started earning an extra 5 to 10 million V&D per month, just from the skill he practiced daily. After 6 months, things began to accelerate. More opportunities, better income, and after 1 year, his life looked completely different. Not because of luck, but because he didn't stop after 90 days. And here's the question for you. The next 90 days, will you keep repeating the same old pattern? Waking up late, procrastinating, telling yourself tomorrow will be different? Or will you choose to build a new version of yourself? You don't need perfection, but you do need a clear decision. Time will pass either way, whether you act or stay still. Every day that goes by takes your opportunities with it just the same. The real question is, when those 90 days are over, will you still be who you are today or someone completely different? If you've made it this far, you don't need more motivation. You need to keep going tomorrow, the day after, and even on the days you don't feel like it, you still do it. Because those days are the ones that truly make the difference. In the next video, I'll talk about something even more dangerous. The reason why so many people fall back into their old life, even after they've changed, not because they're weak, but because they don't see the trap, a higher level trap. And if you don't recognize it, you could lose everything you've built. I'll see you the next morning.